Do you live in the US and want fast, fresh and tasty meals without the hassle of shopping or all that hard work preparation? Well, don't you worry, as a lazy man, I've got you covered. Try America's #1 meal kit service, HelloFresh, and get yourself fresh, pre-portioned ingredients delivered direct to your door. So why not eat well, stay healthy, and avoid the cost of regular takeout by trying HelloFresh? Just click the link in the description below for a special limited time discount and free shipping as well. Enjoy. Well, we spent most of the last episode getting very excited, didn't we? Because Dougie Freedman did brilliant work in the summer transfer window, but it is fair to say it has not quite clicked on the pitch yet. No wins, out of a cup and struggling for goals. We're going to revert to our more attacking, natural preferred tactic, and we'll see how it fares for the rest of this season. Into a big game against Aston Villa, and then transfer deadline day for a little bit more magic. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 77 of the Head Coach with me, Daniel. We are back today just outside the relegation zone, but without a win at the start of the Premier League season. We're going to try and be a bit more aggressive moving forward. I want to play the tactic that suits our team. So if you're looking forward to seeing what that is, as we try and get on the front foot and try and find our first win of the season against Villa, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. Of course, Dougie will have deadline day after that, and he has still been looking for plenty of players. We had a brilliant right back who he missed out on and chose Ren over us, but there are still potential ongoing deals. Morgan Gibbs-White potentially leaving on the cheap, which is a bit of a surprise. And then Kevin Merville, who a 19-year-old from Toronto, $6.5 million, would be a superb deal. So we'll keep our eyes on those, see what happens. But for now, let's have a look at the transfer history and the schedule, because since you were last with me, no players in, a couple of players out, all of them on loan. Joey Keating, who came in last summer, has played a little bit of football. He's now moved on to Clermont in France, as has Ivan Toney, who's gone to Lorient in France, and Abdoulaye Traore, he's left the club as well and gone out on loan for the rest of the season. So 3 players out who are bit part features, and now we've got to get more first teamers in. If we have a look at the schedule, there are concerns. We played against Norwich in that game you saw last time. We were held 0-0 in a game we dominated. We then went 1-0 up 2 minutes into the game at Fulham next time out, and were 3-1 down 15 minutes later. And again, if you look at the stats for this game, we were probably in the game and could have deserved a draw, but we didn't have a clinical edge and we gave away poor chances. At home to Newcastle, we were firmly outplayed by a very good side at the top of the league. No shot on target in that one. And away at Brighton, a 0-0 draw where we played against 10 men for 80 minutes and we couldn't break them down. But again, better side without creating great chances. We lost at home to Bournemouth in the Cup, but that was a very rotated team. A lot of people who hadn't played before. But what I've decided from this is that we're going to do what we did in the Distillery save. We are going to push on now and we are going to try and be front-footed. It is clear that we're not getting the chances or the support to the striker. So Guy Vaknin, he ain't going to run the channels anymore. He's not going to do the hard yards. He's playing as a poacher through the middle. We've switched our holding midfielder for a number 10. We'll see how that works, but I want to try and get a second body in the box. We've seen how valuable that can be with other clubs and in other saves. And then on the left-hand side, we've got an inverted winger now. That's because Campbell's playing the better of the two, but it also gives us more support in the box. So that's what we're sort of aiming for now in terms of getting things right moving forward. I do feel once the goals start flowing and the attacking players get settled in, we will be a formidable opposition. But for now, we're very reliant on Jankovic in goal, Esnalt at the back, who are our 2 best players this season. And we need to get Guy Vaknin in form. Chris Lewis has done all right off the bench a few times, so we might have a look at that moving forward. But for now, the big issue with this tactic is if Gibbs-White leaves in the next day or two, what do we do in terms of number 10? Because then we'll only have Grombach and Buckley, who are pretty average. So that might be a slight problem for deadline day, but we'll wait and see what happens with that. It would be great if that other centre-half comes in because he makes us stronger. We've got an injury at right-back to Couto. We almost signed the Romanian player who went to Rennes, but Clemenson is going to come in for his first league start instead today. But this is the team we're going for, essentially. Let's head into the first match. It is Crystal Palace v Aston Villa. They have got 6 points on the board already and are looking far healthier than us. but this is the side that we are putting out against a very good Aston Villa team. It is Dejan Jankovic in goal. Clemenson and Kelleher are the fullbacks, with Esnall alongside Richards at centre-half. Castro and Rothwell the midfield too. Rothwell back into his preferred deep line playmaker position. Does seem a lot more settled in that role. Gibbs-White playing as the attacking midfielder. How much longer is he going to be here? Is it his last game for the club? There is every chance that this will be his 196th and final league appearance. Gruznov on the right, doing a little better now. Campbell coming in off the left. And then Guy Vaknin up front. 1 goal on the second day of the season, but he has not found his clinical edge. And for a striker as good as him, we have got to find a way to get him in the box more. And as a poacher, maybe that is the answer. So that's the team we're going for. Aston Villa will not be an easy match. Let's go and head into it. Our first game of the day, and hope we can find a victory. So I forgot to mention, actually, as we head into this game, Jacob Ramsey skipper in Aston Villa. They've still got Sirkin, Alex Scott. Looking at the bench, Calvin Bassey was dropped. Matty Cash is still there as well. But what I forgot to mention is I've copied one other thing from Distillery. That is stopper and cover for the 2 centre-halves. We have also taken off the play fairly wide today because we've now got an inverted winger. So it's probably quite similar to that tactic from the other save. And the reason being, we've got a similar profile of team now, so it does make sense. We also do prefer to play a 4-2-3-1. If I had to choose, it would be that or the diamond. And given the fact we've got so many good wide players, this is definitely the one for us. So into the first half we go. Touchline tablet is causing us chaos, but let's see how we get on in this one. Can we at least get on the front foot? As Campbell nicks the ball on halfway to Kelleher, finds Rothwell in that holding role. Don't forget, we are still settling in new players as well. As Castro, you cannot afford to get robbed there. You've got to be quicker than that under pressure. And that is something, and I've got to be honest with you, that's led to so many of the chances we've conceded this year. Giving the ball away halfway down the pitch or in a vulnerable position and just dallying on it, getting caught in midfield. Hopefully, these younger players will adapt soon. As Scott gets himself through the midfield area, plays it wide to Sirkin. Getting chased down by Gruznov and now the fullback, but he's not going to get there. And this is a fullback making his debut as well. Does really well there, then loses it again. I spoke too soon. Sirkin finds Ass, back to the edge to Ramsey, and his shot's just over. It's not really the way we'd like to play. It's 5 new signings that have come in from the start of the year, and that is not my style at all. There's no familiarity. I feel this could be one of those seasons where we're going to be pretty awful till October. The problem is that's when our awful run of games start, and that is what we can't afford to do. In a season where things are going to be tricky, we cannot keep giving away free headers at the front post. It's infuriating that it keeps happening. I'm raising my voice, you can tell I'm getting annoyed. We've got a decent team from set pieces now. We've set up as well as we can. And it's really frustrating. Whether you make 100 changes or leave it as it is out the box, you just can see corners galore this year. It really is a struggle as Richards gives the ball away on the edge of his own box. How many times? I think we've just got to accept that we need to put this tactic in, stick with it, stick with the role, stick with the duty, stick with the instructions, and accept that for 6 weeks this is going to be crap, and then hopefully we get a response. As Rothwell finds Clemenson to Gruznov, 3 of the new signings linking up. Here goes the right winger, inside to Clemenson, holds the ball up for Castro, to Morgan Gibbs-White, plays it back to Esnall. Again, no ambition there from the number 10. He gets it wide to Kelleher this time. Chance to cross, it's blocked, it's poor. Rothwell finds Campbell cutting in from that left. Chance to shoot from the edge of the box. And a shot was probably closer to the corner flag and the top tier than it was the goal. It really is a lack of clinical edge. Again, 4 shots, more than Villa have had in this game, and not hit the target once. It is a big, big problem. With a Guy Vaknin who is a brilliant finisher, with 2 very good wingers at the club now. It shouldn't be an issue we're suffering with, but it's something we've got to work with for now. As Vaknin gets in from the goal kick, flick to Gibbs-White who can't quite get there. Again, we're second to all those 50-50s as it's played out from the back. Jacob Ramsey loses it to Campbell. 30 yards out, takes on his man. Good challenge from Comas. Falls for Campbell again though. Cross into Gibbs-White. Just nicked away from him from the header. And Rothwell picks it up again to Gruznov. He turns his man. His shot goes in. That's the moment for us. Leonid Gruznov with a thunderbolt on his weak foot. From the edge of the box, he gets his first Crystal Palace goal. And with 5 to half time, we finally hit the target. And we make it 1-1. It's a really good finish. And it's some good football too as Kelleher gets it wide to Campbell on the left. Back to him again. Can we find the through ball? Vaknin's in. Must score. Oh, he's hit the post. He's been so good in front of goal last year. And he's got all the attributes to be a world-class striker. But he just seems to miss so many chances as Gibbs-White in towards Rothwell, loses out in the air. Esnall down for Castro. Shoot! Shoot! Edge of the box takes too long. Sirkin clears away to Gruznov. He goes for the shot. Not quite as good this time. Over the bar, high and ugly. And it's 1-1 at half-time. Both sides pretty evenly matched. Villa started the better without doubt, but we've grown into this game. We just need to find Vaknin the goal-scoring boots. He's had 2 good chances in front of goal now. And you'd think if he gets himself one, he might start to find that form. The problem is Morgan Gibbs-White. We need a star in that number 10 role, which we just haven't got. He's also knackered now as well, which is a bit of a problem. For all the other brilliance, there's not really a backup number 10. So I'm going to go Mitran for Campbell on the left wing as a traditional winger. And then Morgan Gibbs-White will be replaced by Grombach as the number 10. 2 made. We've got Vaknin to come off for either Ribeiro or Lewis too. But we're going to leave it at those 2 for now. Half an hour to go. We're well and truly back in this game, but the second half has been quiet so far. I feel like we need to get going. We've got just over 20 minutes, and again, I'm having to take my best striker off because he's not delivered. Chris Lewis isn't as good as Ribeiro either, but he scored a goal this season. He's looked great whenever he's played. I feel like we've got to give him the chance. At right back, Clemenson is struggling as well, so he's now going to get 10 minutes off. Polido will probably come on for him, with Richards going out to right back. And then one more change. We've got Castro and Gruznov who are knackered. So we'll probably take off one or the other. We've got Ribeiro who can come on the right. Or Tom Davis who can go in the middle. But I'm going to go Ribeiro. Let's chase the game. 2 quick wingers on. Brilliant striker. A young player who's a wonder kid. And we're dominating this match. But again, just like the Norwich match a few weeks ago, can we find that cutting edge? As Grombach puts the free kick in. Headers half away to Mitran. Back across goal, doesn't reach anyone, and now Villa can counter. This is the negative side of chasing the game. Do you get caught out on the break? As Baird comes down the right, into midfield. They've got players over on the left-hand side as well. Eventually they work it wide. He's gone on a run. Where's the defending there? Good save, Jankovic. It's a corner kick, but he shouldn't have got that far unopposed. It will be taken as an outswinger. We know where the goal came from. Do not let it happen again. We've got them men on the near post, but they don't seem to make any difference when these come in. They are time wasting here, Villa, which is interesting. Are they happy with a point? Let's hope so when the delivery comes. Good goalkeeping, Jankovic. Let's get on the counter-attack now. There are how many minutes added on? We wait to find out as Polido goes long. Keeper comes flying, gives it to Grombach. Oh, why did you rush? Why did you go for it first time? He had time to bring it down and just pass it into the empty net. And Grombach, oh my word. What a chance to miss with an open goal at the end. 1-1, it's another draw. Again, so many promising signs. We just can't find the back of the net. Everything else is there, and I maintain it. You can tell me if you disagree in the comments. When this team clicks and starts creating regularly and Guy Vaknin finds his goal-scoring form, we are going to be a ruthless opposition. But for now we're on 3 points, we've still not won, and Dougie Freedman has got deadline day on the way. Are we going to get that exciting teenage centre-half? And is he going to find us a replacement if Morgan Gibbs-White goes? Well then, we are back for transfer deadline day and we are being linked with a player from Leicester, but we know how reliable these normally are, to be fair. Leicester's Vace Delare, who is a 23-year-old Belgian defender. I would imagine not if we're already signing one. And then Wan Mustafa is linked with a move away to the same club that it looks like Morgan Gibbs-White will be joining. So we'll just take part in a day and see what happens. It does look like the centre-half that we're trying to sign is a wonder kid. So that would be 2 in the squad. Got to give Dougie Freedman credit on the budget that he's got. We'll take part in a day and see how it goes. I did very quickly want to show you while we were here, because I know I get a bit of criticism for my tactics this time. But I want to show you what happened with Ipswich last season, because we left them after a playoff push. Willie Gibson took charge, and if you want to see what happened to them last season, they finished in 20th place, which is worse than either of the years that we were in charge. So we did a really good job there. It shows the next season as well. And they've not really regenerated their squad much either. So we did really well to get out when we did. For Palace, the signs are promising, but it's not quite there yet. So let's get through deadline day, see who comes in, and more importantly, if anyone leaves the club too. Well, we return an hour into deadline day and there are 12 messages, so there's got to be something here. I know it's the first of the month and obviously there's a lot of these stats and the monthly roundups and all of that. But there are some offers for some of our players, and they include Sporting Gijon coming in for Mustafa, 12.25 million plus a 20% sell-on. It's not a bad deal, but I would say he's worth more than that. However, he is now worse than Clemenson. He's got Couto ahead of him. There's 3 or 4 good centre-halves, and it's a 4-fold profit. So, no, that's fair enough, actually. And then Rajkovic is the other one. Rejected. Good as well, because we've only got 2 senior keepers. And as much as he's been overtaken by the new boy, we still need him at the club as a backup. Castro gets Young Player of the Month in the Premier League. He's doing really well in a side that isn't doing that well. And to be fair, we've been okay in midfield and generally in games. It's just the 2 boxes we're not quite proficient in. So let's go through this. It's not important to have a team meeting today. Get through deadline day. Dougie and the boys, you go and get the job done. 14 hours to go. It looks like a player on his way out. Lots more offers coming in 2 hours later. A couple of youngsters, so a 17-year-old in the youth team has had an offer. It's been rejected. Julien from Sunderland is rejected as well. He is a 20-year-old centre-half. Rajkovic has another one, and this time it's been accepted. Just under £1 million up front. Now that leaves us with 1 goalkeeper, which is a mega problem. So I hope that's going to be addressed today. We have got big problems here. If Gibbs White goes, we've got no number 10. And if Rajkovic goes, we're down to 1 keeper. There is still, 15 million in transfer budget, plenty of wages available. But I'm a little bit concerned about the balance of the squad after this. Lots of right backs come in this summer and not a great deal of balance. Some great players and not the squad we're looking for. Let's go and get through the rest of the day. 3 players now, potentially on their way out. Well, a bit more transfer news has followed again. It's going to be a busy deadline day. Another youngster offer for the centre-half at 17, but that's rejected again. Benfica for Rajkovic, which again is accepted. And Mustafa, to be fair to him, has rejected a move away to Sporting Gijon. They're still interested. We'll see if there's another offer. He's one I wouldn't have minded losing and would have funded something else. So that might end up being a bit of a problem because the other 2 only going for nominal fees as it stands. Well, it is not turning into a very fruitful day, this, is it? Because I've just seen some bad news further up the page. But firstly, Neto, the big sale last summer on deadline day, he has now moved on to PSG for 60 million, which gains us another 1.2. He is improving a little bit, but still hasn't become a star. Moving further down, though, Merville, the young wonder kid, has rejected us for Monaco. Let me show you quickly as well the one who went to Rennes, because it seems like French football is nicking a lot of the best youngsters at the minute. We're not able to compete. So the one that went there was this guy, is Verano on the bench, who is 3-star ability, really good physically, and obviously improving at 23, but wasn't to be. And then if we look further up, we've lost our backup keeper too. We are down to 1 goalkeeper, and of course Morgan Gibbs-White could still leave as well. It has not been a good morning so far. We've got 10 hours left. The afternoon needs to be better. Well, although it's not a long-term solution, that is a more important bit of news for us at the minute. Just an hour later, Morgan Gibbs-White rejects his move away to Gijon, and that means we have still got a number 10 at the club. Albeit it's not the one we want long-term, it is a deal for now. Having a player is important. He's declining. It will be his last year at this level. We'll make the most of it while he's here. Let's go and see what Dougie can do. There's still plenty of money in the bank, and my word, do we need a goalkeeper. Well, still 10 hours to go, and it's not a goalkeeper, but we've got an offer for Keita. Now, it looks like this Amine Keita, at 22 years of age, is a French attacking midfielder. Hopefully he can play centrally, because we need that, of course. He can indeed. 3-star ability, 3.5 potential, about 3 million quid overall. He's an upgrade, I'll give you that. Dougie Freedman is finding some gems. He is the sort of player we want. Great passing range, great vision, tries killer balls. Please let that deal go through, because if Dougie pulls that off, it's another one of his summer gems. 10 hours to get it done. Well, 3 hours have passed since our last update, and we have some good news at last, because Dougie Freedman has pulled off the signing of Amine Keita, and for me, that is a really good one for this club. Only 25 grand a week, and again can gradually take Gibbs-White's slot this year. He is a really good footballer. Again, got to learn the language, again got to adapt to our team. So it's not going to be plain sailing here. It's going to take a month or 2 for all of these to adapt. But I'm starting to feel like Dougie has done a big regeneration this summer. And if we can get through this transitional year, keep the club comfortable, we're going to have one hell of a future here. Really pleased with what's happened so far. Let's see if there's anything else. We could still do with a keeper. We've hinted to it in the press. There's still 15 million to get one. Let's see if Dougie can find it. But for now, he's doing a very good job. 4 hours to go. We've got an update, and it's probably not ideal. But Dougie Freedman has found himself a cheap goalkeeper. 1.5 star ability, 2-star potential. He has joined the club as well since. Tottenham have signed a player called Brennan Johnson. Oh, I didn't expect it to be him. He played for Palace apparently. 350 grand for us. But Troy Higgins for 3 grand a week is our new backup keeper. I mean, he's not very good, but it's better than not having one, isn't it? So we'll register him for the squad. He's homegrown in the nation, which I guess is a bonus. I wouldn't mind a better one than him if one comes along. 4 hours remaining. Yes, it is a panic buy, but I'm not going to say that because Dougie Freedman has done very well aside. Let's see if there's any more before the day goes out, but it looks like it's starting to calm down. Well, this is both an interesting move and one that could scupper everything we've done this summer because this is a move for a Portuguese striker from Bayer Leverkusen who is worth 40 to 50 million and on 86 grand a week. Now, if they're very, very good, we're going to have to rethink our tactic, aren't we? Do we then go for 2 up front? We could play a classic 4-4-2, couldn't we? Just thinking about the players we've got here. How good is this guy going to be? Oh, it's a loan deal. Fee of 375 grand. He is 22. He's got massive potential. Oh, he's a superstar. We might have to go 4-4-2, and I know it's another tactical change. But if we can play a midfield 2 of either Cater and Rothwell alongside Castro, and then play the 2 wingers and 2 big men up front, I feel it's the real opportunity for us. He is a superstar. We've got to get 2 in the box, and Simois allows us to do that. Let's see if he comes in with 4 hours to go. I'm going to need your tactical help in the comments, but for now, let's see if the final deal gets done. Well, as it turns out, we won't need to worry about that because the deal did not get done in time. I think it came down to a stipulation. It had a mandatory future fee if we avoided relegation of about 30 million, which is a really interesting one. It's not the sort of deal you often see in FM by the AI. But a really good deadline day regardless. We've managed to get in a backup keeper, albeit significantly weaker. We've got the smallest wage budget in the Premier League, as you can see. We are still one of the smallest clubs in this division, and we've still got one of the weakest squads. But it is now a young squad with an awful lot of potential. So on deadline day, just the one signing at first team level. Amine Keita will be our new number 10. And for 3 million at Premier League level, that is a steal of a signing. Troy Higgins will be an emergency backup keeper. Rajkovic leaves the club for £1 million. And now we've got the awful fixtures to come. Wolves, Chelsea, Liverpool, Tottenham coming up as well. I think we're going to come back around the end of October, start of November. Because Bournemouth, West Ham, Forest, Southampton, it looks on paper like an important spell of 4 matches. So for now, promising signs without the end result yet. As it stands though, we are still outside the relegation zone. And if we can keep that up until our squad is gelled and settled, then we've got a very good season ahead. Let me know in the comments what you thought of deadline day and the window as a whole. Are we going to regret missing out on that striker, or are the players ain't good enough to take us to the next level? And do you agree with me that we'll be alright once this squad gets settled in? If you want to find out and you did enjoy this episode, please do put a thumbs up on it. Subscribe for daily videos from 2 long-term stories as our Build a Nation returns tomorrow. It's a big season in that one as we chase our first league title. It isn't going to be easy, so I'll need you as the 12th man for the run-in. In the meantime, you can find links to the Twitch channel, the football podcast, and the blog series up in the eye above. And again, if you're in the US, do check out the link in the description. Get money off your first order from HelloFresh and help support this channel as well. I'll see you next time though in a couple of days' time. Fingers crossed we'll have finally won a game. If we can start scoring goals, this is going to be a good year. Can we do it? I'll see you next time to find out.